Welcome to the February 19, 2016 edition of Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and Chelsea Clinton visiting Colorado this week. The presidential candidates attended the Colorado Democratic Party's annual dinner on Saturday, and Chelsea Clinton visited Boulder and Denver on Thursday and Friday. Patty Calhoun from Westward, where do you think Colorado's going to go in this race? I mean, it's down to two candidates, but we tend to like underdogs. Is it time for Bernie here?
I'm thinking people have Clinton fatigue at this point because Bill is coming back again this weekend. He'll be speaking in Pueblo and out, I think, Colorado Springs. So I think we're just getting a little tired of the Clintons coming through. I don't think that'll affect the vote that much, but certainly coming here I don't think helps Hillary all that much. I do love the fact that at the allegedly no longer called Jefferson Jackson dinner, that they had Hillary Clinton, they had Bernie Sanders, and they were going to have Martin O'Malley until he dropped out of the dinner after he dropped out of the presidential race. So that, by all accounts, was just a great enlivening evening.
I think O'Malley was still invited, but he was parking cars, so it was a whole different thing. David Cole from the Penn Institute and DU Law School. What do you think? Who do you think is better on the stump for Hillary, Bill or Chelsea?
Bill, I mean, he's one of the great political talents of the last half century. And Chelsea is a good speaker, but she's not at that extraordinary level. By all accounts, Hillary Clinton gave a great speech at the not Jefferson, not Jackson dinner. Maybe when some of the national reporters said it's one of the best they'd ever heard her give all campaign. But it may not be enough. There's a new poll that just came out today from the Washington Free Beacon, which they supposedly sampled 1,100 Coloradans, which seems large and expensive. But according to that, Bernie's got a 49 to 43 lead currently. Now, predicting caucus turnout is a difficult thing to do. But I'll also say if Hillary loses badly in Colorado and every other state that votes on March 1st, don't count her out. She did quite a comeback against Obama in 2008, actually won more votes in primaries than he did in 2008. If you want to get the theme of her movie, go watch The Revenant. There is nothing you can do to her. She will keep on coming after you. Even you could cut off all her arms and legs, and she would roll downhill or roll uphill and keep on going. She is a fighter, and she will be in it to the very, very end.
Monty Python's Black Knight,
yes.
If you will. I get you.
Yeah,
only
except this one, she'd leap up and bite the guy's neck off and kill him.
Penfield Tate, attorney with QTAC Rock, a long-time state lawmaker. Not sure where you're going to go with that, those metaphors, but it's your guess. What do you think? What is your guess of the mood of Democrats? Whether they're going to be voting for Sanders or Clinton, what's the overall mood of Colorado Democrats right now?
It's interesting, and I was at the not Jefferson, not Jackson dinner, and based on the response the speakers got, I will tell you the mood is wholly dependent on who shows up caucus night and then who turns out to vote. If you watch the crowd, when Hillary spoke, and she gave a phenomenal speech, and I think I'd offer that among the entire field on every side of the aisle, she is without question on paper and based on experience the most qualified, but people don't like her. Right. And so this is one of those issues where you may be the most qualified, but that may not be enough to get you elected. She gave a wonderful speech, and when you watch the crowd, and I intentionally stood in the back as I wanted to see the whole thing, the people who responded to her were sort of the traditional party regulars and activists. And I think they chanted, "We're with her, we're with her." And then when Bernie came out and spoke, he gave also a good speech. I had seen snippets of him before, and sometimes he kind of fumbles around, and sometimes he seems like he's forgotten his point. He was on that night. He was on point. He delivered a great speech. He hammered his points. And the people who responded to him were all of the young folks. And they were screaming like, feel the burn, and Bernie, Bernie. And it was interesting to watch those two parts of the room. So I would offer to you, if the traditional Democrat is who shows up at caucus, Hillary blows him away. If we see a repeat of what happened the first time President Obama ran, when on a snowy night at caucus, you had people standing up and lines going around the block to check in, and none of the party regulars could move fast enough to get everybody in the caucus rooms, Bernie's going to beat her.
Ed C. Lever, reporter with Denver Business Journal. You're a guy at the Capitol. Do you get a sense of where Dem lawmakers are on this?
Oh yeah, this is a Clinton crowd. I mean, the establishment is a Clinton crowd. And in fact, it's we can debate how well Bernie Sanders is going to do in caucuses and primaries all we want, but if Clinton continues to get all of the super delegates, does it really matter? And I think what's going to happen here, the more interesting story is not necessarily who gets the nomination. I mean, I still feel like it's going to be pretty hard to knock Hillary Clinton off the nomination here with the establishment support and with the fact that other than New Hampshire, she's not polling is getting blown out anywhere. So she's going to get a lot of delegates from the caucuses and primaries. The question is there going to be a unified party when this is done? I mean, you know, especially with the process that this has gone through, the number of people that have chided DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz for limiting debates, putting them on at midnight on the Home Shopping Network, you know, really seeming to do, you know, everything she could do to get Hillary nominated, and then, you know, having all of the establishment Democrats not affected at all, and it's still going superdelegate vote, despite the growing fervor for Sanders. This is really one of those situations where if I were the Democratic Party, I would be worried that Hillary ends up being your nominee, and you have a whole bunch of people who aren't coming out to vote. And just remember, that young crowd that was standing up chanting "Feel the burn," those are the people who really got Obama elected. Not necessarily in 2008 when he blew out McCain, but who came back in 2012 when a lot of people didn't think they would and made sure that he handily beat Romney. Those young people don't show up. It doesn't matter who the nominee is. They're going to have a hard time, assuming the Republicans nominate someone other than Donald Trump.
A very good caveat. That's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.